Most Shopify advice focuses on one thing: how to start, how to set up your store, how to add products, how to get your first sale. Very little talks about what happens after it starts working. And that's where most people quietly lose money. Not because their store fails, but because it can't handle success properly. Here's the uncomfortable truth: success puts more stress on your store than failure ever will. When traffic increases, everything happens at once. More visitors loading pages, more products being viewed, more apps running simultaneously, more checkouts happening at the same time. Each action adds pressure, and pressure exposes weaknesses. Not in dramatic ways, but in subtle, expensive ones. Your site still loads, your checkout still works, but things feel slightly off. Pages hesitate. Buttons respond a fraction slower. Checkout confirmation takes just a moment too long. That moment matters, because customers don't evaluate your store logically, they evaluate it emotionally. They don't think, "This server response time is slower." They feel, "Something doesn't feel right." And when people feel uncertainty, they hesitate. Hesitation kills impulse buying. This is where many Shopify stores stall. Sales don't drop to zero. They just stop growing. The owner pushes harder. More ads, more content, more effort. But effort doesn't fix friction. Infrastructure does. Your Shopify store isn't just a website. It's a system, and every system has a throughput limit. When demand exceeds what your setup can handle comfortably, performance degrades. Not with crashes, with hesitation. This is why good enough infrastructure is dangerous. It works until growth exposes its limits. Premium brands understand this early. They don't wait for problems to force upgrades. They assume success will test everything, so they build for it. Kinsta is designed around that philosophy. Instead of shared environments where resources compete, Kinsta gives your store a controlled, isolated setup built to remain consistent under load. That consistency is everything. Your site behaves the same way. At 50 visitors, at 500 visitors, at 5,000 visitors. No surprises, no performance dips during spikes, no quiet revenue leaks. When your infrastructure becomes predictable, everything else improves. Ads perform better, not because you change creatives, but because pages load instantly. Conversion rates improve, not because of discounts, but because checkout feels safe. Customer trust increases, not because you said anything differently, but because the experience feels solid. That's real leverage. You're not working harder. You're removing resistance. Most people treat infrastructure as a technical detail. Serious builders treat it as a strategic advantage. They don't ask, "Is this necessary right now?" They ask, "Will this hold when things go right?" If Shopify is more than a side project to you, if you're building something meant to scale, your foundation matters more than almost anything else. Don't wait for growth to expose cracks. Build on something designed to carry weight. Use Kinsta. The link is in the description. Because real growth doesn't feel chaotic, it feels smooth.